Hello beautiful beings, and welcome back to the realm of inspiration. In today's video we are doing a channeling with the crocodiles and alligators who work for spiritual protection. So we are going to start off this video doing a spiritual protection together, and then we're going to invite the Elfian Animal Healers. I feel also the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the rivers wanting to come through as well, but we'll put them on a back seat for another time. We're going to have the Elfian Animal Healers of the alligators and then the crocodiles, so both of them step through in today's video because both of those animal group souls work in tandem together with the Guardians of the Veil and the Guardians of Sacred Spaces. So the alligators work with the Guardians of the Veil and the crocodiles work with the Guardians of Sacred Spaces, and together they work for spiritual protection and to help bring forth positive light and positive energy. So we're going to do a little protection. Affirm with me now, I am safe and protected. I am surrounded by divine light and love. Nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. I am safe and protected. I am surrounded by divine light and love. Nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. I am safe and protected. I am surrounded by divine light and love. Nothing and no one can access me nor my energy without my permission. God protects, God watches over times infinity. Gaia anchors, Gaia grounds times infinity. My guardian angels surround me in their wings, putting me in an invincible tube of divine light and love. Archangel Michael protects me times infinity. Archangel Uriel gives me strength times infinity. Archangel Raphael heals me and brings me into alignment times infinity. Archangel Gabriel brings me clarity of mind times infinity. Archangel Metatron protects my lightworker abilities times infinity. Archangel Sandalphone brings me stability times infinity. I'm feeling this intense sensation of calm. And it's mainly because I'm feeling the spiritual protective power of the crocodiles and alligators. So we're just gonna let them come through. We're gonna start with the alligators because they work with the Guardians of the Veil. And then we'll go to the crocodiles because they work with the Guardians of Sacred Spaces. Both of these reptilian powerhouses, just like, sharks and other animals can have negative misconceptions about them because they can be seen as aggressive, or we shouldn't be interacting with them because they could harm us, and while that is true, they act on instinct only if they're threatened. And there is a beautiful, symbiotic relationship between the ecosystems that they live in for the alligators and the crocodiles. There's this symbiotic relationship, and I just see the visual of a beautiful white bird on a crocodile's back and on an alligator's back, and that beautiful relationship that also even the sharks have, which one day we'll get to the sharks. They're not in my list right now, but we'll get to them one day. That the sharks even have with the fish around them. They're such a vital part of our ecosystem. Reptiles are such an important part of our ecosystem in general. It's just that there's a beautiful symbiotic relationship, and they give the energy of being protectors of the areas that they're in. So I'm feeling crocodiles feel a little bit more divine feminine. So they both have divine masculinity, but crocodiles feel a little bit more divine feminine in nature. They really are a balance of each other, a yin and a yang of each other. And have a deep connection to the beings of knowledge as well, which is fascinating. So we're gonna have an Earthian Animal Healer of the alligators, divine masculine energy, step forth to start this collective teaching, reading, understanding, where we're trying to understand how spiritual protection, how to protect our energy, and how to know when this is a question I need an answer to, actually. How can we know whether or not someone is good for our energy? How can we know, if we believe I've had a situation, I'll be vulnerable, I've had a situation where I believed wholeheartedly that someone was good for me. And as of this point in time, I still don't want clarity on that situation. So that's some clarity I need brought through. How do we know? Like, how do we know? Does our body give us signs? Does, like, our soul give us signs? Like, how do we know that someone's not good for our energy? And how do we know when our spiritual protections work? Because this specific situation, like, even the first time I was going to meet this person, I went and I bought an icon of Archangel Michael, who's a protector, and then plans started changing. And anytime I had a necklace of Archangel Michael with his sword of truth, and the day that necklace broke, I had a plan fall through with that person. And then there was another time where there was a plan fall through where my eye keychain, my Mati keychain, the evil eye keychain for protection, broke in my car while I was on the way to meet this person. And it broke, and I had to go get a new one. And I'm wondering, are those signs and indications that that person isn't good for my energy? So how do we know? So that's what I want to understand from the alligators. How do we know? And from the crocodiles, they also work with spiritual protection. They work with the guardians of sacred spaces more so. So in this situation as well, there was a period of time, it's a different situation, where I felt like I couldn't sleep in my room. And my room, in accordance with feng shui, is in the romance and relationships section. Actually, I will link the series I did feng shui with me. So you can learn a little bit more about that. And the guardians of sacred spaces work with feng shui. But I couldn't sleep in my bed is in the romance and relationships section of the romance and relationship. Like, my bed is in the romance and relationships section in the romance and relationship room. And there was a period of time where there was like a lot of like heaviness, and I couldn't sleep in my room, and I had to sleep in the living room in the family section of like the knowledge portion of the house. So is that energetic feeling related to a situation and a person not being good for your energy? So those are questions I have. I wanted to bring those examples because I think those are things that like commonly happen, and maybe those are things that are telling us when something isn't good for us, and we might like misinterpret it as someone being jealous of a connection or a situation, and that jealousy is negatively impacting us, which also can be the case. I don't know. We're gonna ask them for clarity, but how do we know? We need to have some understanding going on here. I'm confused. I need some clarity. So I can feel the clarity is going to come. So also because it's going to rain here soon, so there's a lot of clarity that comes with the rain, and I'm feeling it. So Divine Masculine, Elfian Animal Healer of the Alligators, please step forth to start this reading and give us the clarity that we wish to know, that I wish to know, we all wish to know. Help us understand. Messages for our highest good, from a place of divine light and love, what we need to know, not what we want to hear. We are surrounded by divine light and love, and in this space and time, I'm allowing the Earthian, I guess we're just gonna have to start with them. We're gonna have to start with them. We're gonna start with the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the Rivers. Are gonna start this reading because they're just wanting to come through. So Divine Feminine Earthian Elfian Elemental of the Rivers, come through and start this reading, and then pass it to the Elfian Animal Healers that we need, because sometimes you just gotta follow spirit. Earthian Elfian Elementals of the Rivers, Divine Feminine Energy, please step forth when I safely step back. Hello. We are coming through to bring grounding, the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the River. I'm a Divine Feminine Earthian Elfian Elemental of the Rivers. Sometimes the rivers come through to bring some grounding. So we're just going to bring some grounding into this space and some transmutation. Rivers are the transmuters of the earth, and part of spiritual protection is transmuting. That energy that you cleanse, you got to transmute it into something new so it doesn't come back to you. And that's just the starting point message before we let in my Elfian Animal Healer friends to come through and communicate more on this topic. But one thing that's very important to know is that you must transmute the energy that you cleanse so it doesn't come back to you again. So even though you're like, banish it, let it go, cleanse it, and you think it's gone, well, if it's still negative energy and it's out there, and it doesn't know where to go, and you're a beacon of light, it's going to come back to you, and it's going to come back to you in different forms. So you got to transmute it, and you got to transmute the pain. You got to alchemize everything. And it's also, if you don't learn your lessons, things are going to come back to you. And if you don't learn how to transmute energy into something positive, then that negative energy is going to come back to you until you transmute it. Because your job as beings of life and light is to transmute that negative energy for the ascension of the earth. So if you don't do it and you're just discarding negative energy into the earth without any care of whether it's transmuted, reconstituted, whatever it may be, and you're just throwing it around like you don't care, it's going to come back to you until you do what you're supposed to do with it and transmute it and reconstitute it. And that's something very important to understand, that sometimes that negative energy can come through in the form of a bad situation, bad relationship, whatever it may be. So you got to take time to transmute that energy, transmute that pain, transmute that fear, transmute that stress, transmute that anger, turn it into something positive so it doesn't come back again. It'll keep coming, and it'll keep coming back until you do your duty as a being of life to transmute it into something good. That's the message to kind of kick off this understanding. And now I'll have my Divine Masculine Elfian Animal Healer of the Alligators step through. Goodbye for now. Hello, I am an Elfian Animal Healer, Divine Masculine of the Alligators. So, the alligators, as well as the crocodiles, work with spiritual protection. And the message that they wish for you all to know in this space and time is to understand how to protect your energy. So, first and foremost, you must breathe. Clean air. What I mean by that, you must breathe clean air. There's a lot of blockages going on with energy right now because there's a lot of pollutants in the air. So, for all of you, in this divine timing, go find a place that is purely nature and breathe. Breathe. Breathe in and breathe out and release. Place that is purely nature. And as you're breathing in, breathe in the divine love and compassion of Mother Earth. And breathe out all the stressors, all the anxieties, all the pollutants, all the blockages to be transmuted and reconstituted. With the support of the rivers, the alligators, and the crocodiles, to take that energy, turn it into something positive, and then stand strong as a protective force. Stand tall and strong as a protective force. You got scales like armor, human beings. You do. You can either use those scales to be your protection, or use them to harm other people. There's a positive and a negative of everything. Of everything. And when we look at you, we see you got two options. Protect your energy. To be the person who is shining your light, so you need to protect your energy. Or be the person who people need their energy protected from. And there's a lot of people right now choosing the path of darkness. So it's time you open your eyes. Like the eye of an alligator or crocodile opening. It's time you open your eyes. You open your eye. Your eye of energy, your eye of understanding energy. The symbol of someone who understands energy looks like the eye of a crocodile or an alligator, depending on whether or not you're more in tune with understanding the divine masculine side of things or the divine feminine side of things in regards to spirituality and energy. Alligator would be understanding more of the divine masculine side of energy, manifestation, the logical part of spirituality, because there is a logical part. And the crocodile would be more understanding that intuition, that higher self-connection side of spirituality. And spirituality is just connection to spirit, so everyone should be in their spirituality. Understanding energy. Understanding energy. So important. Because you always got two options. And every choice you make, you got two options. Follow the path of light or follow the path of dark. And if someone's following the path of dark, and you're trying to keep them in the light, and they're draining your light, you will get lost. So the communicator is asking, how do you know? Those things she was asking, were those signs? Yep, those were signs. It's not that there's something wrong with that person, it's that that person is following a darker path. And you're not meant to be a part of it. And when you have a higher purpose, when you are meant to follow the light, when you are meant to be the light, Spirit, the universe, the creator, your source is going to move you away from things that will keep you trapped in darkness. Chances are, if you're listening to this, then you have a very similar path as our communicator. Meaning, you are meant to do light work. You are meant to help. And so, even if someone has a good soul, even if you're meant to have a connection with that person, but they choose, in this period of time that free will is being tested the most, they're choosing darkness, even if they're a good person, even if you're meant to know them, even if they're meant to be in your life, maybe they're not meant to be in your life in this divine timing if they are choosing darkness. And only when they choose the light will you be ready to be in each other's lives. And when someone's choosing darkness in your life, you'll know, because things like that will happen. Protective necklaces and symbols breaking. When you protect your energy, they run away. And they push you away. They can't look you in the eye. They can't be around you. Because you force them to try and see the good. And they are wanting to be consumed by the bad. And if someone is wanting to be consumed by the bad, to be consumed by jealousy, judgment, anger, vengeance, you can't change that. Because your purpose is not to save one person. It's to help the collective all. And if you get lost in trying to save that person, even if you love them, but you get lost in trying to save them, and you get pulled into the darkness with them, and you think you're helping them, but they're pulling you down further, then you can't do your job to help everybody else in the world that you gotta help. You cannot sacrifice your light for one person. And you'll know. And it's not doubt, it's intuition. The Elfian Animal Healers of the Crocodiles will talk a little bit more about that. But you'll know. You can ask the communicator now. I'll ask her, how did you feel in those moments? You knew. She's saying she knew. You knew. All of those were signs. Your body shutting down. You're getting sick. Those are signs. You being filled with emotions you didn't have before. When you're not an angry person, but all of a sudden you're getting angry. When you're typically calm, cool, and collected, but all of a sudden you just have no tolerance for anything anymore. That is your body, that is your mind, that is your heart rejecting something that is not meant for you, something that will pull away your energy. So the key is not fighting for your energy back from those people and those situations. You don't want to fight for your energy back. No. Because it's yours. No, you're going to cultivate your energy and you're going to make more. And you're going to take the energy that those negative situations and people gave you, and you're going to transmute it into something new. And put that intention of transmuting everybody else's energy that you've taken on that is not yours, that does not serve you, to be transmuted into divine light and love, using all higher lights and the support of Source and Creator. And ask Source for your original Source excellence back in return, to recharge you. And call back what people have taken from you, cleared and cleansed, to be transmuted and returned to you. You don't got to go and physically fight them. Physically fight them in the sense of arguing. No. Words are powerful, but words don't fix energy. Intention fixes energy. People don't always mean what they say. But energy can't lie. And it doesn't lie. Energy does not lie. And the communicator is asking now, well, what if I felt safe in this situation or with this person? But then there were times where I didn't, or something happened. What we say to that is, you as light workers or healers, you can sense the soul, the potential of the soul. But that does not mean that at this present moment, that soul is aware of their potential. You feel safe with the soul, but you know the ego is being in control and choosing darkness. And you can't change that just because you feel the power of the soul. It is a good thing to feel the power of the soul, but you have to acknowledge when the soul is not in control in someone. Even if you see it, even if you feel it, even if you know, no, they're better than this. I know that they are. Why are they choosing this path? You can't change the path that they're choosing. If they are choosing to allow the lower self to be in control, it doesn't matter if their soul was a monk in a past life and performed miracles, which oftentimes they wouldn't always reincarnate. Sometimes they just become ascended masters, but it could be the case. It doesn't matter if in this lifetime they are actively choosing the lower polarity and the lower self. Even if you feel and you know, even if that soul could be your soulmate, could be a soul kin, could be a part of your soul tribe, and you know that and you feel that. But their ego is in control. Their lower self is in control. They are choosing and using their free will for darker things. You cannot change that. The only thing you can do is protect your energy and leave. So you're a beacon of light. So they don't get addicted and attached to draining your energy. They got to learn how to sustain themselves on their own. And when they choose the light, you want to be in a higher place to help them remember who they are when they are ready. But if they're not ready now, you can't make it happen. You can't. And there are a lot of you who go through the awakening and you look around you and you see these people in your life who you love. Romantic, platonic, familial, it doesn't matter, that you love, and you see the power of their soul, but you see them choosing the lower polarity. There is nothing you can do but protect your own energy, choose the light, and be that beacon of light for them to know that when they are ready, you can help them. You can guide them through the change of choosing the higher self. But until they are ready, there is nothing you can do. The most powerful thing you can do in regards to spiritual protection, and this is a message from the alligators, the most powerful thing that you can do in regards to spiritual protection is know when you can do nothing no more. Is know when you can't do anything anymore to help somebody. If they are choosing darkness, you have to respect their free will. You should never sacrifice your soul for somebody else. Even if you love them, even if you see the potential, even if you know that there is a deeper soul connection, and you don't want to give up on them, and you don't want to abandon them. Right now, with everything going on, do not sacrifice your light for someone else who isn't willing to see the light within themselves. They're not going to see the light within you. They're not going to see your intentions as being pure. If they are stuck in the lower self, they're going to see everything as a vendetta against them. And they're going to want to take revenge, and they're going to want to be stuck in anger because they are choosing the lower polarity. And until they choose to awaken, you can't force them to awaken. You can't. Trust that if someone is going too far off path, their spirit team will do a divine intervention, but you are not responsible to do a divine intervention for somebody else. You cannot make someone do something they don't want. Even if you think, I just want them to see the light. I see our soul's connection. I see our bond. I know we're supposed to be in each other's lives. Why are they doing this? Why are they choosing this path? Why? It doesn't make sense. Beautiful children of life, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense because it doesn't resonate with you. What doesn't resonate with you won't make sense. What's not meant to be in your life will not make sense because it's not supposed to make sense in your life. Just trust when the timing is right, when the person is ready to seek the light, you will be there. And this is something we see a lot happen in family dynamics. Sometimes the only thing you can do to help is take a step back. Because if you lose yourself in the process, when they wake up, you won't be able to help them. When you heal yourself, you can heal others. If you lose yourself in somebody else and trying to save them, you can't help people anymore because you are lost in somebody else, not empowered in yourself. Do not throw away your energy for one person. Elevate your energy so you can help everyone, including yourself, and that person when they are ready. The collective reality will not ascend until everyone is ready on their own terms. Not on the terms of the light workers who just want to be done with the 3D reality. No, you chose this life for a reason. For a reason. So honor it. Honor that choice. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. And stressing yourself to try and force something to happen is draining your energy when you should be protecting and elevating it. A key part of protecting your energy is just elevating your energy. Elevating it higher. So that the lower things don't really affect you anymore. Because you are resonating higher. Don't let someone suck the energy out of you. And don't let an idea of how things are supposed to be make you feel bad. The earth is not ascending to the golden age in 2032, let's be clear. There's so much more work to do. And that's the beautiful part of it, is it's not going to happen in 5 years. The new golden age will not happen in 5 years. Because there are so many souls that still need to take their time. You can't force it. You can't make it happen when it's not supposed to happen. You can't make it happen when it's not supposed to happen. And there are a lot of people who have pure intentions, but we're observing are trying to force a reality to happen that's not meant to happen yet. Just live in the moment. You want to elevate your energy, you want to protect your energy and help people be in the moment and take your time. Take your time to heal. Take your time to understand. Take your time to teach. There is no rush. You have enough time. The world will not end in 5 years. The world will not ascend to the highest golden age in 5 years either, but it will not end. It's not going to end. Not as long as there are people still working to elevate the reality of the world. But one big thing that must happen first is fixing the environment around you, fixing nature, bringing nature back to its vitality. Those things, taking time to help rebuild nature, help rebuild yourself, rebuild your life, taking time. Be patient, there is no rush. You incarnated in life to live, so live. Why are you all rushing? Why are you all rushing? There is no reason to rush. Because the second you slow down and start living life as a soul within a body, you start expanding, you start growing, you start helping, you start spreading love and positivity, the sooner that happens, the sooner the new golden age happens. But until that happens, till you all slow down, it's gonna take some time. And that's okay, because it's not supposed to happen on a specific date. Just someone out there threw out a year 2032 and a lot of you guys are freaking out about it. No, don't freak out about it. It's just a year someone thought of. It's not gonna happen at the start of a calendar year. The new golden age is gonna happen when it's gonna happen. It's not going to be magically this month happens, magically this day happens, because the way you guys perceive time is not how time actually is. It can happen around that time. Somehow, somewhere, some way around that time, maybe. But a lot of you humans are so, a lot of you are even afraid of the new golden age. What would that mean? If there's still fear involved, then there's no way the collective reality is ready. Afraid of the second coming, afraid of this, afraid of that. A lot of you humans spend so much time being afraid of losing life that you're not living life. You want to protect your energy? Live life. Live life, live it as a soul within a body. See the music and the magic of life. Flow at one with life, connect with the animals, connect with nature, connect with your soul, help people heal, integrate with your inner child, become one with source, find your Christ consciousness, ascend and enlighten, live life, balanced between the earth and the soul, the physical and the soul. Live. Just live. Now, a divine feminine Elfian Animal Healer of the Crocodiles will come through to continue that message. Hello, I'm a divine feminine Earthian Animal Healer of the Crocodiles. So to continue what my friend was saying, live. Live and trust your intuition. Live and start to integrate with your highest self. The key now, the test now, the game now is to choose between two options, the highest self or the lowest self. The higher self is your authenticity. The lowest self, that's a construct. It's an illusion. And some humans aren't ready to break the illusion, because what's on the other side of the illusion is truth. A lot of people aren't ready to face the music of what they've done. You can't make them. You cannot make someone see their faults. If they don't want to see it, they will not see it. You can't make it happen. It'll happen when they are ready to face the music. Just like it took time for you to see your faults and your wrongs. It takes time. For some people, it's easier to be in the illusion. And you can't pull them out of it. There's no soul stronger than the human soul. You guys are very stubborn. It's because you're beings of life. There's a cynicism that comes with that, where sometimes the soul gets tired. The human soul gets tired, we see it. Loses empathy, loses compassion, and is just tired. Tired of being a being of life. And it can take a few lifetimes for them to see how magical it is to have the gift to be alive, even if it's painful. It's magical. It's painful, but it's magical. It can be a struggle, but it's also the most rewarding thing. There is no envy of other people when you see that each soul is on a unique journey. even animals that have group souls. Each individual form is on an individual journey. There is no envy, judgment, or anger in the heart of a soul who understands that it's beautiful to be exactly who you are. Nothing less, nothing more, exactly as you are. I'm a being of inspiration and healing light that works with the animal kingdom beyond the veil. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. When you start to just accept who you are and honor that, love prevails. It does. There's a certain magic in just accepting your circumstance, your situation, and looking around and seeing, okay, if this doesn't resonate, how can I change it? If this doesn't resonate, how can I fix that here? But who you are inside, the goal is to reach that acceptance of love of who you are. And it's going to take time, so take your time. First, heal thyself. Learn to love and accept your authenticity without fear, and honor your gifts and abilities without fear. Honor who you are. And keep your compassionate heart. Even if you threw yourself into darkness to try and save someone, and then you pulled yourself out because you knew it's not worth sacrificing your soul and you feel heartbroken. Honor that heartbreak and love yourself. And sit in that moment. Because you're human. So the heartbreak, the struggle, the suffering, there's a beauty in that because it makes you human. You're not meant to be robots. You're not meant to be artificial intelligence. Nothing can replicate humans. Humans are beautiful. Nothing can replicate you, so stop trying to replicate yourselves because you can't. You can reproduce, but you can't recreate because the human soul is unique. And you must all learn to love being beings of life before you're ready for the new age. And that means sometimes there's heartbreak. Sometimes people leave. Sometimes things change. Sometimes your energy might get attacked. But the most divine, spiritual, protective thing that you can do is fall in love with life and yourself and the reality around you. And if there's something that you can't love, and because it doesn't resonate with you and it's supposed to change, don't fear change. Embrace the change. If you want to free yourself from people sending you negativity, you just raise your frequency. You protect your energy, of course. Just raise your frequency. And don't look outside of you for validation. Because if you're still looking outside of you for validation, then people who want to send you negativity, they'll affect you. If there's still a part of you that wants validation from an outside source, then you might unintentionally attract those who want to invalidate you. Because you're just seeking something from outside of you to confirm something. Learn to validate yourself. Find that within yourself. Fill all those voids yourself. Because if you have no open voids, those people who want to send you negativity, they won't be able to reach you. And it'll just return back to sender. But if they see an opening, because there's a crack, there's something you're ignoring, then it'll affect you. The key is to not ignore yourself. The key is to acknowledge yourself and acknowledge who you are. The key is to acknowledge your pain and sit with it until you're ready to transmute it into power. Thank you. They felt done. They're like, we've said enough for right now. Thank you. That was very insightful. They showed me some visuals, but not a lot. I guess they wanted me to hear a lot of it. I saw some visuals, some colors. It was very interesting because I saw that there's almost like part of our third eye chakra is just like our ability to even just see clearly our reality, and we as a collective kind of have a block around our eyes and our third eye, around our ability to see clearly, because there's a lot of hesitation about the unknown. Like, we fear the unknown, yet we seek the unknown, and we can be very contradictory in our nature, and it's important for us to find the path that does align with us. And it doesn't mean that like that path is like just one soul thing. That path is our soul, so it's everything that resonates with us. And the contradictoriness can come in when we're simultaneously seeking love but also wanting to be alone. When we're simultaneously seeking peace but also wanting to sit in anger. And the best thing that we can do to elevate, like kind of elevate our energy, protect our energy, is to sit with those contradictory feelings and understand why there is this disalignment and where it's coming from, and just start bringing everything into alignment is like one of the most powerful things that we can do. But it was very insightful, and I want to say thank you to the Earthian Elfian Elementals of the rivers, and the Elfian Animal Healers of the Alligators and Crocodiles for giving us some awesome education that fits the divine timing of right now. And I will see you guys in the next one of these videos. I don't know who's next. Truthfully, we already did the bears. I think the eagles are next, or the chrysanthemums, one of the two. Also, we have the summer solstice. Yeah, we got the summer solstice coming up, so that is also very exciting. That's a very empowering solstice energy. Yeah, our free will, this is a period of test. It's a test of our free will. It's a test of whether or not we are going to choose light or dark, or whether or not we're going to choose the positive or negative side of things. And the positive side of things doesn't mean that everything's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but to have that intention that we are seeking our highest self and we are working on ourselves, even if it's going to be painful. The positive side isn't the easy way out. It's not. Technically, just following the negative polarity is the easy way out. It's the way to be numb. But we didn't incarnate to be numb. We incarnated to live and to go through life and to go through the pain so we can ultimately experience a happy life. After we've done the work to clear our karma, to be able to experience a happy life in the physical and have connections that we wouldn't have if we were just floating around space as a soul without a body. There is a happiness, and we should stop seeking like that heaven and that oasis outside of our lives and start appreciating the beauty and majesty of what we have right in front of us. Because that gratitude elevates our energy, and it also protects our energy, because we're showing the universe that we appreciate it, and the universe will protect us. So, that being said, sending you love, light, and inspiration. Stay inspired. Until next time, goodbye for now.